Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to Chris's Inked Pens for November 2022. I'm trying something that I've never tried before. I have taken one of my favorite pen models, and I'm using exclusively the Twisby Ecos throughout the month of November. I've tried to pick colors that I liked, and the thing about the ink is it's 8 unique ink companies. So the total opposite of how I did with the pens. So we're going to go over all that. But first I'm just going to talk about the colorway and the nib on each one of these. These are all Twisby Ecos, which are piston filling fountain pens, and they have a good ink capacity. I expect what I'll do is carry over at least probably the red and the green and the purple and maybe even the turquoise over to yes, and probably the ink that I have in this one too. Many of these I'll carry over into December, just as you know, I'm still addressing cards and things like that. But I'm really looking forward to the Diamine Inkvent samples that I'll be getting for December. So that's going to be a really fun project. And I wanted to kind of also focus on 4 pens that I want to try out. So I have those here, but I've gotten a little bit overwhelmed with all the excitement of all the different pens and inks. So this time I decided to go straight Twisby Eco. So without any more detail here, let's just talk about each pen. This is the first one I ever got. It's a Twisby Eco Clear with a medium nib. So that's the first one. I've always really loved that pen. And then the second one is the rose gold and white, and it also has a medium nib, and that's quite a theme here this time. There's kind of a story behind that, but I'm not sure we're going to have time for it. The next one is the cement gray, and this was a pen friend gift, and then I got, and it has a medium nib on it. And then this is the purple transparent with a medium nib. I'm going to be writing on some Christmas cards and different holiday greeting cards. So I'm hoping this is going to work out. But we do have a broad nib here. This is my latest Twisby Eco that I got. And it is I'm not sure if I can say this right, but it's the cerulean blue. Cerulean blue. I even looked it up and pressed the little thing to hear how it's supposed to be pronounced, but somehow nothing quite makes sense. I like this. I really like it, and I think there's quite a few blue inks that I like to see in it, but I picked one where I finished the sample, so I'll show you that in a minute. The next one up is the green transparent with a medium nib. We're back to that. They're all medium nibs except for that one, spoiler alert. I purposely collected the red and green and the purple in this because I really like those colors. And then this is one of my very favorites too. This is the black and rose gold, and this has a medium nib too. Oh boy. As I was filling them, I thought, I'm going to have plenty of ink in these to last 2 months. Okay, this is
8:04 p.m.
That clock. I should have looked before I started, so I could avoid it, the hourly mention there. This is the red transparent, and it is a medium nib. So what we're going to do, I'll get my ink journal out, which has got Tomoe River 68 GSM, and we'll write with each one. And as we do, I'll show you the ink tile that corresponds, and that way you can see what inks I'm going to be trying out. Because this time, the emphasis is sort of on the inks, but these are beautiful pens. I love them. They're some of my favorites, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and I need to go ahead. I've got my purple splatter Rickshaw Sinclair R. I've got that emptied and ready for these, so that's what I'm going to be carrying them in. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so for the clear Twisby Eco, I have Vanness Hissy Fit Pink. I'm not sure they actually put pink on it. Let's see. The bottle right here. I meant to check on that earlier. Yeah, the bottle just says Hissy Fit. So I love this ink, and it's no surprise when I started to compare ink tiles, I could see why. It's definitely right in my wheelhouse, and I have quite a few of this color family, so, but I really love it, and I'm glad I was able to get a bottle of it. So we'll just fill this in here. I've left my space for my grades for later on in the month, and here we go. Okay, so we know they're all Twisby Ecos, so I'm just going to put clear, medium nib, and the ink. I meant to make a little note somewhere. Maybe I'll put it up here. I'm going to actually note for myself that they were all Twisby Ecos because, you know, 3 years from now I might not remember. But I think, you know, definitely there's not going to be much question this month because I can see what I'm doing. So this is just a really pretty pink, pink magenta ink, and I love it. Okay, and then next up is the rose gold and white, and I've got the Noodler Stockyard signature from the Dallas Pen Show in here. Okay, now I have all these initials. I'm going to put it in the description box who gave me the samples, because there are only 2 that I purchased, and one was the Vanness, their Hissy Fit. I purchased that one, and then, well, I'll tell you the other one. Okay. So this is going to be this beautiful brown. And this nib seems quite happy with this ink. I was happy with it with the last ink too, so I just think this Noodler's ink is quite flowy. Okay, so this is the, I always put RG for rose gold and white. And it is a medium nib, and it's Noodler's. Stockyard. Oh, Stockyard. I don't know why I keep doing that. Signature. Oh, I'll tell you, that is really luxurious ink. Quite flowy. Really nice. Okay, so that's that one. I got to remember not to try to mix inks with my finger in there. Okay, and next up is the cement gray. And I really was kind of looking at my collection, realizing I didn't have a pink Twisby, because, you know, when I came into the hobby, I wasn't really realizing how some of the limited edition pens just go and then they're gone, that kind of thing. But anyway, I feel like gray goes with anything, and this is Diatramentis elderberry. And I had it in my hair the other day. That's a long story too. I was trying to real quick clean up and do something, and I didn't realize I had this ink all over my fingers, and I ended up with a highlight in my hair. And Manuel came in, and I had a washcloth trying to wash out the burgundy ink out of my hair. Okay, so this is cement gray. This feels really good too. Medium nib. Diatramentis. I suppose this is just sort of a game that I'm playing. You know, I decided to stick with one pen type, but I made myself choose different ink brands for each of the inks. And believe it or not, it kept coming up that ones I was gravitating toward were going to duplicate, or going to be like 2 Colorverse inks or 2 something else. And so it was kind of fun it was a little bit of a challenge to go ahead and rotate around it and come up with different ones. Okay, you know, within what I wanted to see for my cards and so on. So what am I doing? Let's see, we might want to put the ink name, elderberry. Okay, and then we'll do our little X. Okay. This one actually has quite a bit of water resistance. It probably has the most amount of anything you'll see for this group, if I remember correctly. Okay, so next up is our purple ink, and that is Pelican 4001 Violet, and I put it in the purple transparent. I think this is going to be great. Whoops. I have a small 30 ml bottle of it. Okay, this is purple. transparent. Medium and Pelican. 4001 violet. I have a fly running around here. That is probably with all the going in and out. Okay, very nice. I think you can even see, yeah, you can see that that's kind of a traditional purple. So that's going to be really nice. Okay, and then next up, I just love this. I emptied the vial, so it's completely gone. But it's my Conklin Antique Turquoise. Okay, and this is a beauty. And I thought it would be so pretty in this pen, this new pen that I can't pronounce. Let's see, let me try it again. Cerulean. That's how the lady said it in Google. So, okay, and then broad nib here. So this is our one broad nib. I have a feeling I'll write it dry because when I start writing letters, I do have just a few to finish off from October, but I cleaned like 10 pens yesterday, so there aren't very many left. Okay, and this is, I got to spell it, and I don't automatically spell it, so C-E-R-U-L-E-A-N. I don't know what's so foreign about that. Blue. Broad nib with Conklin. This is a super good nib too. Antique Turquoise. Whoops. And let's do our little smudge there. Let's try that again. Yeah. Okay, so that's going to be really nice, really smooth, really bright and cheerful. And I do like to use that color for some reason on cards. So hopefully that'll give me incentive to do so. Okay, and next up, I got to be a little careful because I did have a little burp with this one. Maybe I've got it all worked out now. I may not have done enough with my paper towel when I filled it. This is Colorverse Alpha Centauri. And this is the green transparent Eco. Okay, and a medium nib. I just really like this color when I realized it was going to be such a nice color, like a nice bright green like that. Okay, we're doing transparent green, medium nib, Colorverse Alpha Centauri. Okay. Fingers left without ink on it. Sometimes when you mix the ink from your palette on your fingers, you don't know what you're going to come up with. So I try not to, but okay. Next up is my gray ink for the month, and that is Pure Pens Lambrus Slate. And I love this ink. Is that the other one that I emptied? I'm not sure. I'll have to look. Hold on. No, I still have about 2 mils of that, so that's good because I really like this ink. And this is the rose gold and black Eco. Okay. Are we still somewhere where you can see? I hope so. Okay. Okay, and then this is, we're going to do that rose, gold, and black. I like where this falls. It's nice and dark, but it's kind of medium to the eye. It may come out darker on your screen, but it's definitely a nice gray with a medium nib and Pure Pens. This was part of the Celtic set that I have samples of from pen friend Annie. Slate, and I said I was going to do that in the description box. I am, because there's just so many little pen friends to thank, and I want to write it all out there. Okay, whoops. Well, that's not fair. Waited too long. Okay, that's nice and juicy, and it's a really pretty gray, so that'll give me a nice. Well, gray is like my black, really. That's how I for ink, because I really like to write with it. For some reason, gray is more pleasing in most of what I do than the darker black ink is, which is odd because I always used to use black ink. Okay, this is Monteverdi Valentine Red, and it is in my Twisby Red transparent. That's what gosh, yeah, I've only said it 6 times, and a medium nib. Now, normally I put Kaweco Ruby Red in this because it's just so perfect for it. But this is a sample that I had been really wanting to use, and for some reason I'd put it aside and forgot about it. So when I was doing my massive organization this week, I found it. Okay, and this is, it may be throwing me off because I usually put the whole pen brand and model, but they're all exactly the same. So transparent red with a medium nib, and Monteverdi. Oh, that's the last one. Oh my goodness. Valentine Red. Oh, there'll be more. I mean, I know what happens. Things come in, or I start to, whoops, see, I contaminated that. And I don't want to look at that because then I might think that's what it looks like. Oh, that is nice and wet. Look at that. Woo, okay. I guess we get that idea. Okay, so that's where we're at as far as, that's everything that I'm inking up for November to start off with. And I'll be finishing up some fills from last month. I've got just a couple. And then giving myself that extra, you know, anything I'm doing on the side as an experiment will probably be these 4 that I really want to, you know, get to know the pens. And the X 159, I thought I would have done by now, but I do finally have an ink in it now that I think is good. So it's a Pilot ink. So I'm kind of like almost ready, I guess. So I'm going to switch the set a little bit so we can just look at the ink tiles for a moment. There, now we can kind of look at the ink tiles. And I've got a combination of light, so although it's never perfect, please, a disclaimer, as usual, get a sample of these inks because, you know, with between the lighting, the camera, and all the variables of screens that we have, there's always going to be some differences. And some colors are very balky, like anything that's magenta is extremely prone to not looking like itself on camera. It's just... what do they call that? Chameleon or something? I don't know. Anyway, and a lot of times anything with a shimmer, but I don't have any shimmers this time. What I was excited about was it seems like I hit the color families that I wanted to get. You know, I've got a traditional purple, I've got my traditional red and green, and then the turquoise, that just really popped, and I wanted to, you know, work with one that was a little sample, and I used my little tubing to fill it so I could get every drop of the sample. I was so proud of myself. So that was fun. And let's see. At the last minute, I realized I wanted a burgundy type ink. And then so I rifled through all the burgundy tiles, and I thought, I wonder if I still have any of that, because this has been here for a long time. But sure enough, somebody had sent me another sample of that, and I wonder if I ever figured out who. Yes, I did. That was actually Pen Friend Sharon. So this is all going to go in the little description. But so I'm happy with it, and I was having so much fun trying the new Noodler Stockyard signature that just came in from Pen Friend EC, that I kept on going with that and put it into one of the Ecos. So it's, you know, at first I thought, oh, either I'll have too much ink or, you know, I'm not going to write it all dry or whatever. But when I think about what my December is going to be, I'm probably going to be using my something of a dip pen, not probably the Serendipity, the one that's the hybrid, which is hiding right now. Yeah, it's hiding really good too. Not this one. Although this one I can use, the little Pilot one, I will use for the finer lines, but my Serendipity is totally hiding on me. That kind of makes me nervous when I can't see it. I've also got my glass nib. Oh, Serendipity is giving me a heart attack here. I hope Coco doesn't have it somewhere. No, surely not. I know where my little mini one is, though. Let's show that one. My mind being already on December, that kind of disturbs me. So this is my little mini Serendipity hybrid, but my big green one, I'm going to go looking for it as soon as I finish this video, because that totally makes me nervous. So I'll be using these type of things so I can do 1 ink a day in December. I really want to do that. No matter how little or how lot, you know, I end up doing those ink studies, I'm going to enjoy it a lot. And, you know, take the numbered ink vials 1 day at a time. So, but for November, I've got a lot to do. And if I do it right, I'll be using these Twisbys pretty heavily, and I won't have to worry about keeping on refilling a cartridge or a converter. So I hope you've got plans for November and December, and or even just the rest of October, because there's still like two days or 3 days. I don't know. I just knew when I saw the lighting finally had made an improvement, I'd better get it done now, because it might not be there. We were expecting rain and cooler weather and so on. So, yikes. Okay, it's getting long, but it hasn't gone to the completely crazy point. I was running out of places to put my ink, so I grabbed this little thing here. So I ended up getting 6 in here, and then I had the little vial that I emptied out, and then I was filling from the bottle on the Pelican ink. So that, whoops, that kind of, it made me realize I bought this ink, and then I didn't use it. It just doesn't make sense. So I was really happy to be getting into some of the inks that I haven't used as much or at all, because that's a good point. That's a good thing to do. I hope you're having a good day and that you will have wonderful plans for November. And I'll see you on the next one. And in the comments and a little bit on Instagram, as much as I can. I do want to apologize because I haven't been here as much. I haven't made as many videos as I'd like to and have been on my mind, because we have really been busy, especially the past 7 days or so. I think it may start to level out. It looks like it will. And so being home more really helps since everything is here at my pen desk. So I'll see you guys next time, and thank you so much for being here. Let me hear about what you're writing with and as far as pens and inks in the comments. I just love the comments. Bye for now.